days in Ghana, technicians or engineers? How many of you are willing to work in the foreign service and spend your lives traveling around the world? On your willingness to do that, not merely to serve 1 year or 2 years in the service, but on your willingness to contribute part of your life to this country, I think will depend the answer whether a free society can compete. I think it can, and I think Americans are willing to contribute, but the effort must be far greater than we've ever made in the past.
Exploration is a very important part of Peace Corps. And this also happens, with an American going into a new country and teaching the local people a little bit more about culture in the United States. So teaching a little bit more about what it means to be an American and that it's not everything that you see on TV or in movies.
Dear Mother and Father, I never thought I'd say this to you, but thanks. Thanks a bunch. The Peace Corps has changed my life. I've learned the true meaning of self-reliance, commitment, and yes, even caring for another human being. Now, for the first time in my life, I'm doing the right thing, and for the right reasons. I'm opening a casino, Dad. It's called Lawrence's, after me, and this is just the beginning. Night elephant races, professional kickboxing. It's going to be my kind of town. Well, I've got to run. Time is money. Your loving son, blah, 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 Lawrence.
In 1960, at the University of Michigan, John F. Kennedy spoke to 10,000 students, calling these young people to dedicate themselves to the progress and peace of developing countries. Kennedy already noticed that the Soviet Union had scientists, doctors, and engineers in the service of world communism. He wanted Americans to be more involved in their country and to promote peace and understanding by helping other nations. Robert Sargent Shriver, Kennedy's brother-in-law, was the driving force behind the Peace Corps. He acted as the director and traveled across the country speaking about the Peace Corps at graduations and economic meetings. Being in the Peace Corps allows for much exploration. While visiting other countries, you explore a new and different culture. The Peace Corps sends volunteers to places where life is much different.
You're exploring a new culture, a new language, a completely new environment in all senses.
Emily Epstein is a graduate from Northern Michigan University and was a Peace Corps volunteer in Thailand.
It was more growth for me, personally, at learning how to be open emotionally, physically, and exploring the different things, that whether it be their religion, or whether it be the way that their family interacts with each other, or whether it be the food, or whatever the culture might be. I pretty much made it through the whole country via train and bus, something called a song cow, which are little mini buses.
You have 2 years to try new things, explore, and see what works.
Okay, so it was really the relationships for me that made a lasting impression. The wife, like I said, took care of me as well, like I was a younger sister. And even the grandmother in that family, she wanted to teach me how to cook, so she would bring me into the kitchen and show me some things. And so those were really the meaningful encounters I had, and it was purely positive.
And these people-to-people encounters last a lifetime. Once you've served, you have that connection to that host community and that culture forever.
I still have a friend that was a woman, a girl my age, who lived in the town that I lived in, and she was home from college, and she had a job, and I met her, I think at the market. She came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh," she spoke English, and said, "I've heard about you. They told me you were in the town," because it's a small town. "They told me you were in town. I've been waiting to meet you." And she lived in America for a year with a program that was a student exchange program, and she loved it. She had a wonderful experience, and so she couldn't wait to meet me, and we became really good friends, and we're actually still friends and still stay in touch today. And when I visit Thailand again, she would be one of the first people I contact.
the 3 goals of Peace Corps, only one actually involves working on technical projects. Our other 2 goals involve cross-cultural communication. So we are really working to foster that exchange.
With the boys that lived at the house I lived near, we carved pumpkins on at Halloween. They don't celebrate Halloween, obviously, but they didn't have pumpkins, so we did it with watermelons. So we carved watermelons, which was really fun. And then at Christmas, they don't celebrate Christmas, and so I had a very small tree. I don't remember if it was a plant, maybe it was a plant that I had, and my mom had sent me some packages with presents, and I decorated and did some things very simple, and the boys came over and they helped me cut out snowflakes, and so I taught them about those cultural exchanges from my end.
I have today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps on a temporary pilot basis. I'm also sending to Congress a message proposing authorization of a permanent Peace Corps. This corps will be a pool of trained men and women sent overseas by the United States government or through private institutions and organizations to help foreign countries meet their urgent needs for skilled manpower. It is our hope to have between 500 to 1,000 people in the field by the end of this year. We will send Americans abroad who are qualified to do a job. We will send those abroad who are committed to the concept which motivates the Peace Corps. It will not be easy. None of the men and women will be paid a salary. They will live at the same level as the citizens of the country which they're sent to, doing the same work, eating the same food, speaking the same language. We're going to put particular emphasis on those men and women who have skills in teaching, agriculture, and in health. I'm hopeful that it will be a source of satisfaction to Americans and a contribution to world peace.
President Kennedy, I mean, that was his goal, right? Let's send Americans out to have this cultural exchange and to really let people see what Americans are like and how we are and how we live and who we are. And I absolutely think the Peace Corps has accomplished that and still does to this day. I feel that it was that way for me, very much so, that I got to experience this other culture. And it wasn't just the Thai culture. Afterwards, I traveled for 3 months.
Definitely, the Peace Corps has fulfilled President Kennedy's mission, which is still the same today. So the Peace Corps has had the same mission for 55 years, and that is promoting world peace and friendship. So I think the organization and the agency is definitely accomplishing that every single day with our nearly 7,000 volunteers in the field.
But I really feel like I grew up a lot while I was overseas, and I saw how big the world is and how little of a part we play in it, and how just by being open-minded and opening your heart to other people, you can really grow. You know, I feel more like Peace Corps changed me than it did I maybe changed anyone. Hopefully the friendships I made and the relationships I made, they still remember that, and that in and of itself is a lasting impression.
I hope this spirit will grow, that hundreds of others of young Americans and older Americans will go overseas to show our best side, to show how much we desire to live at peace. There can be no greater service to our country, and no source of pride more real than to be a member of the Peace Corps of the United States.